Good evening, Patriots. How are we doing this evening? I'm going to wait a couple minutes before I realize that, well, first of all, I expected to come back on here a little bit earlier, but we've been busy in a packing mode. So I didn't get on here as soon as I wanted to. I'm waiting for a few people to come on, and I want to share some insights with everybody. I think we're going to help you as you continue to move forward. You know, we're obviously living challenging times, and what I call flip-floppers have already given up. I think that's a huge mistake. Matter of fact, I don't just think it, I know it is. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight, and it looks like there's a couple people on here. If you're brand new, just jump on here, say first time, or just let me know where you're from. If this is something that you've been on here before, obviously I'll recognize your name. Just, if you're able to jump on here and just let me know who you are, that'd be great. I'm going to talk to you guys about what do you think of yourself? And the reason I asked that question is with all that's going on with the media and big tech and hey, Denise, how are you doing? With all this going on, I think that what happens to a lot of people is that we start giving in to the pressure, giving in to what they say. Now, who's they? Well, in this case, we're talking about the media. I posted something, I don't know, a couple hours ago on my profile page, and I've already got people saying, never happened, never happened. And I always, because I get a lot of never happened. Well, here's what I said. When they start requiring you to document, I'm not talking about a W-2. Some people thought I was talking about W-2s. W-2s, with all due respect, if you are a W-2 earner, you're a freaking slave because you are the highest income tax, number one. Number two, you don't really have any freedom at all. You really don't. You might think, but you really don't. You've been programmed to believe but think about this. If you are a Christian, and I know many of my followers are, then at the church building, you're the church, but at the building, we're being told that that we are made and we are created in God's image, right? I think almost everybody would agree with that statement. Okay, so if that's true, and I truly believe it is, then you should have a high worth of yourself. But do you know that the church, or I should say religion, tears that down? That's also what goes on in big media, big tech, because they basically tell you how much you're worth. Because of this job pays this much. Now, I didn't get this at first, but it didn't take that long for me to understand that I'll use this, and really this number is not much more, especially if you live in the West Coast. But let's say they say, well, you know what? We're going to pay you $20 an hour. All right. So that means for 4 hours, what is that, 8 weeks? So for 2 weeks, that's $1,600. And like I said, you're going to get taxed like never before, especially if you are single. Okay. So we just accept it. We're like, wow, that's just the way it is. But see, most people don't realize that what happens over a period of time is you start to settle. You just start to say, well, that's the best I can do. But that's not really true. Remember now, let's go back to you're made in God's image. Well, what they're doing now, and I have my contacts that tell me, I have one contact that's at almost the highest level you can pretty much get, that has told me emphatically, here's what's about to happen. And if I was you, I'd pay really close attention to this. The illegitimate administration that's in place right now, okay? First of all, by now, you all should know that they want everything to funnel through the state, okay? By now, you should all know that. That's why unemployment and food stamps and all of that. I talk to people all the time and they're telling me, well, heck, man, I can't even get anybody to want a job when they're paying. These kids, these people are making more on unemployment. They don't want to come to work. That's done on purpose. Okay. Here's the next thing. And you heard it here first. What they're about to do is unleash a plan that will make it to where you will have to fill out a form. And I'm not talking about a second job. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you do anything at all online and you want to, have a side, whatever you call it, right? And then you're not under a W-2, you're now under a 1099 because why? It's your business. Most people don't even realize that. It's your business. They don't want that. They don't want you to have your own business. This is why I've been telling people, if you're going to do it now. Do it now. Because we're looking at September, October, November. And then by December, they want it all taken care of so that as we go in to 2022, they got you by the nose, just like they have with every other thing. Now, a lot of people don't want to believe that what I just said is true, and that's up to you. We just got, Antoinette and I we've been doing packing, as I said, but we just got off an hour-long training call with our company. And one of the things that really struck with why I chose this topic is because so many people don't really, they don't believe in themselves. I'm going to give you guys what I consider the three most important things. And it's not just if you want to build a business. This is if you want to be successful in life and really go to a higher level than you've ever gone before. Number one, you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then the chances of you really, really accomplishing the kind of stuff that God wants you to accomplish is extremely, extremely low. Look, somebody here is a smiley face, so I don't know if they think what I'm saying is funny. You have that right. You have that right. The only person that's actually jumped on here is Denise, which I appreciate. But so that's number one. You've got to believe in yourself. Number two is you've got to believe in whatever it is that you're representing. So like with me, hey there, Crystal. With me, as most of you know, because I know I got a lot of new followers, with me, I only had a job a very short period of time. And I'll tell you why I only had a job a very short period of time. I was psychologically, and I still am, by the way, I was psychologically unemployable. Before I went in the Air Force, I probably had 12 jobs, no kidding, in less than 2 years. I either got fired or I quit because it just wasn't me. But then when I went in the Air Force, all of a sudden I knew that I was serving my country, and I believed in that. Okay? So when people say, well, you did a job with the Air Force, I don't look at that as a job. That was a calling. I really loved what I did, okay, because I was serving my country. To me, that meant so much to me, okay? I wasn't one of those guys that, enlisted for 4 years or 6 years and wanted out. No, I wanted to stay. The Clinton bunch stopped me from doing that back in 1992. So now I've covered 2 points. You've got to believe in yourself and you got to believe in what you're doing. And number 3, you got to believe in the profession that you are a part of. You know what? When I was in those jobs, I didn't believe in that profession. You know why I didn't believe in that profession? Because I had woke up at that point and realized, man, these people are taking advantage of me. You know what the biggest enslavement when it comes to JOBs is today? You should write this down. A salary. I'm telling you straight up, the salary is the biggest, because here it is. It looks good on the front end because, you make a little bit more money typically, but they will work you to, you know what? I went from working 40 hours a week because I was in management. I've always pretty much been in a management when I was in a job. So I went from 40 hours a week to working 60, sometimes 62, 63 hours a week. And when you started to average it out, I wasn't hardly making any money per hour. So when I'm talking to people, I always ask them, Do you really love what you do? You know what most people tell me? Yeah, it's okay. Pays the bills. You ever hear that one before? Pays the bills. Are you just here to pay the bills? That's my first question. Second question is, with this vaccine, which we all know it's not a vaccine, but I'll play that game because I'll continue to do it for a little while. With the vaccine passport, which is going to be, again, oh, by the way, a good friend of mine sent me a message today. He said, did you hear that in the NFL and in Major League Baseball, there was several people in Major League Baseball that were either fired or they quit because they were told, if you don't get the vaccine, you don't have a job. So when people start, I remember 3 months ago, that'll never happen. That violates my HIPAA agreement. That violates my First Amendment. So when you're saying that to me tonight, as I'm sharing this about, well, they can't do that, think again. You're living in a world that no longer exists, guys. So what I'm going to tell you is, and by the way, it looks like Denise has been joined by Crystal Wright and Roy Quinton. And Roy, I thank you. You said you love this. That's good. And you know what? I'm glad that people love what I share. And I know some people can't stand it. That's okay. You know what? I'm not here to entertain people. I'm not here to convince people. My mission is to awaken people, because we have too many people asleep at the wheel. We have too many people that are literally their heads buried someplace. You probably know where. But the point being is, when are you going to wake up? Because like I have offered to send videos. I've offered to, we've got a video on water, what they're doing to water pollution. And we've sold a lot of these, okay? Because this will purify like 99% of the craziness that's out there. Do you know in a plastic bottle of water, it's got over 24,000 particles in there? You know where those particles are going, right? In your body. When it comes to all the other product line we have, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal product line. We have testimonials, but that's not what I'm here tonight to talk about. I'm here to talk about, when are you going to wake up and take your vocation into your own hands? Because if you don't start taking charge, private employees can, not a violation. Some have had to get regular flu vax for years. Well, I'm not sure. Hey, there's Mel. Here's what I will say, guys, is I'm being told by my contacts that the agencies are basically telling them that they have to get the vaccine if they want employment. And I'm not a lawyer, never have claimed to be a lawyer. I'm just telling you what I'm being told. My daughter was told that if she works in the medical industry, that if she doesn't get the vaccine, she no longer has employment. Unfortunately, she decided to take that vaccine. Okay. I personally, and I don't just think it, I know it, because I've got doctors that send me messages and send me videos and send me testimonials of what's going on. So I'm not here to debate with anybody about whether the vaccine is good, bad, or indifferent, but I will tell you, I'm not putting it in my body. And I'm just thankful. I'm thankful to God that Antoinette and I do stuff where we don't have to worry about that stupid stuff. Okay. If there's anybody on here that actually I respect, I really will. I will respect you, but I have to shake my head in wonderment, because we're being led like sheep to slaughter. We went into a store today here in Texas, and there was people that, have you ever seen these people that are walking outside 100-degree heat wearing a mask outside? I don't understand. It's all programming, and that's the point that I'm trying to say. The programming that you have as far as employment is the same thing. Big tech has controlled everything you do. This is like the third straight message that I brought this up, because it's that important. If you don't think that big tech is controlling what you have done and will continue to do as far as employment, then you're not awake. You're not awake. They are definitely controlling what you're doing. And they have been for years. See, what made our country great, you know what made our country great? Is when people went to work and started their own businesses. So I will say this, is that if you like working for somebody else, Great. That's not me. That's not me at all. So anyways, let's see who else is on here. That's Denise Brunsman, Crystal Rye, Roy Quinton. We have Mel Atwood. We have Lucy Curran. Okay, Mel. Hey, Lori. So anyways, if anybody wants to reach out to me as far as why we believe what we have is the way to go, I'll send you a video. There is no pressure. I never put pressure on anybody. My job is to increase awareness. My job is to let people know that if they keep following the path they're following, they're probably not going to like the result. And again, like what I told you guys about the info about what's going to happen in the next 90 days, you're not going to find that out anywhere. So if you're one of these people that say, well, show me the source, you're probably a new person that's following me. Because by now I can't give you my sources because what that would mean to their life. And I literally mean that. I know a lot of people are like, come on now. You'd have to know my background. You'd have to know why, the kind of people I've associated with over the last 30 years. And that's the reason why. We had been doing Monday night Zooms for quite some time. We're not doing those right now because of our change of where we're going to be living. But the point being is, and I will come back to those at some point, but I always find it interesting when people want to debate with me. I skipped a debating class, okay? So you won't get in a debate with me. Just understand that. There will be no debating with me. You can be right, I'll be rich, and we'll leave it at that. God bless you. God bless America. We'll talk to you guys later.